Welcome to Rapid Fire Rundown. Today, we're going to be discussing why I think the helmet setup is as important or more important in some use cases than a plate carrier setup. Before we get started, I would like to thank everyone for your continued support of this channel. I currently have a video that didn't take much time to create with over 20,000 views, and I am extremely appreciative. Thank you for all your excellent comments, and thank you for your viewership. All right, let's jump into the video. So, like I said, I wanted to discuss today the importance of the helmet setup for someone that is interested in overall Second Amendment rights, right? Preparedness. Many of us have plate carrier setups, or many of us were very passionate about this hobby, if you will. But not many people have a proper helmet setup. And I've previously alluded to this in my ACH video and night vision video, but I think a proper helmet setup is extremely important if you take this at all seriously. That's not to say if you don't have one that I am calling you out, right? Got to start somewhere. Helmet setups can be a little expensive too. They're seen as a little bit LARPy, but in my opinion, I think a proper helmet setup really does pay dividends. It is a essential piece of kit, and I wanted to bring up 5 reasons why I think that is. All right. So let's talk about the first reason, and this is going to be the most obvious one, but that's going to be the ability to carry night vision and just for overall night vision use. Many people opt for a non-ballistic helmet, and I would, if I was to guess, I'd say about 90% of the reason for that is so they have the capability of mounting a PVS-14 or Binos or quad nods if you're a G. Night vision is extremely uncomfortable with something like a Skull Crusher or any other method mounting to your rifle, right? That's not going to give you the proper peripheral vision or the ability to look around, rather. So a helmet is basically mandatory if you're interested in night vision whatsoever. And you should be interested in night vision. Night vision is badass. Night vision is awesome. It is a superpower. And in today's conflicts, if you don't have night vision, you are behind the times. There's a reason why all of our allies and not are basically standard equipped with night vision nowadays. Does the United States own the night? Still, I can't say. Other countries are catching up. I think we still have superiority, but night vision is basically mandatory. Feel free to chime down below if you have any issues with that statement. Like I said, I'm not Mill or Leo or anything. But like I said, in today's conflicts, night vision and to another extent, thermal optics are basically mandatory. So, obvious one out of the way, night vision. Moving on to the next reason, I am going to talk about hearing protection, communication. We as civilians don't really take comms as important as someone in the military, and that's unfortunate. Everyone has a UV5R, right? But how many of you actually know how to use it? Well, I can say I know how to use it, but not very well. I don't communicate with anyone. I think hearing protection and comms and just owning a helmet really opens you up to that world. First of all, hearing protection. Hearing protection is mandatory. I actually have tinnitus in my left ear due to an injury a couple years ago. Not shooting related or anything, but due to an injury, and you do not want tinnitus. Proper hearing protection is not only is it going to protect your ears, but it's also very comfortable. It makes the shooting experience a lot more pleasant. And I think a proper helmet setup kind of incentivizes that in a way. If you spend a little bit of money on a nice helmet setup, you're going to drop $100 or a couple $100 on some Swordens or the Tactical 500 Sports, I think is what I have, which are a cheaper headset, but they're still extremely comfortable, electronic, noise-canceling headphones that you can put gel cups in, and they're a lot better than the standard Walker that everyone has, right? Furthermore, communication. Comms are something I really want to branch into more, but being able to really practice good communication skills with like your buddies or set up comms on this helmet setup is extremely important, right? It's something that we as civilians should take a lot more seriously, as if shit ever did hit the fan, I can promise you the ability to crush a bill drill is a lot less important than being able to communicate with people and filter water, right? And navigate. And these are skills that we as civilians don't really take too seriously, myself included. The helmet setup enables all of that. Okay, so the third one is going to be a weird one, and that's just going to be the overall ease of use, right? The fact that you can bring it anywhere. A helmet setup when I'm going to the range and I don't want to bring my SPC with me, which I will have a video on shortly. When I don't want to bring my SPC with me, I can just grab my helmet. It weighs a couple pounds. It has my night vision on it. It has my comms. I got some spare batteries. I have a flashlight, right? Like everything is on that helmet. I can grab that, head to the range with a box of ammo and a pistol, or a box of ammo and a rifle, or just very, very minimal kit. And I'm set. I have comms. I have my hearing protection. I have my night vision in case I want to do some goon shit. I also have ballistic protection, but I don't think I'm going to need ballistic protection at the range. But just overall, the ease of use, right? And this is actually going to be a part of my next point, and that's going to be that plate carriers, at least in my perspective, they sit there collecting dust. Okay. So I love my SPC. I try to wear my SPC minimum 50% of the time I go to the range. But how many of you own plate carriers and you train with them once every 6 months? Be honest, right? A lot of us own plate carriers because they look really cool, right? And then we wear the plate carrier that's properly kitted out and we say, wow, that's 20 or 30 pounds or however many pounds in front of me, and my back hurts and it's uncomfortable, and going to the range is now annoying because I need to put it in my car and it takes up a lot of room. How many of your plate carriers just sit there collecting dust? Now, there will be a video accompanying this discussing the uses of the plate carrier and why it is also, in my opinion, basically mandatory. But a helmet setup, like I mentioned previously, you can just throw this in the back of your car or in your passenger seat, drive to the range, and you're done. A plate carrier, it's kind of annoying to bring with you everywhere, right? And then once you get to the range, it gets really sweaty really quick, and your back gets, your back is in pain relatively quickly, right? It's extremely important to train in your kit. But in my opinion, a helmet setup, you buy a helmet setup, I bring it with me every single time I go to the range because my good earphones are connected to it. So I have so many reps while using my ballistic helmet versus my SPC, it's probably about half the time. So, plate carriers, they're fantastic, but the point being, how many of you guys actually use it? Okay. All right. And the last point I wanted to make today is going to be, of course, ballistic protection. There is a reason why we use plate carriers and not just belt setups, right? And that reason is, of course, for expanded storage, but most importantly, the word plate in plate carrier, right? The ability to stop incoming projectiles. A shot to your center mass chest, almost no matter what cartridge it is, you're going down, right? If you take a 22 center mass, there's a pretty good chance you're gone. 9mm or 45 or 5.56, yeah, you're probably gone. The ability to protect your internal organs is pretty good. And it's kind of perplexing that people don't care about their head as much as they care about their chest. Because if you get shot in the top of the head, I can assure you, you are gone almost no matter what. Okay? For the longest time, the United States military and other militaries around the world, troops received standard issue metal helmets to stop incoming projectiles, and we didn't give out armor, right? Like the capability, or not the capability, the idea of the plate carrier setup is a relatively new one. Helmets have been around for a while because we all knew that taking a bullet to the gut or taking a bullet to the chest, I mean, there's a chance you live in. It's pretty slim, but a bullet to the head, you're gone. Another reason is when you are taking a corner in something like a CQB environment, what's the first thing that's turning that corner? It's going to be your head, right? You're not going to pie that corner while just like you're throwing your chest out there without like looking first, right? Ballistic protection is extremely important, even for something as simple as going to the range. Like I said, we prepare for basically any situation. That's what kind of sets us apart as a Second Amendment community. We don't just believe in having the bare minimum, we prepare for almost anything. And I don't know about you guys, but I've seen some really stupid people at the range. I've seen people shoot metal gongs 5 feet away with a full power 5.56 16-inch rifle, right? A tiny bit of spall hits that plate, goes backwards, hits my top of my head, I'm probably dead. Okay. Ballistic protection is, for the same reason a plate carrier is important, ballistic protection for your head is incredibly important. All right, so those are my 5 reasons for why I think if you don't already have a helmet set up, I recommend you get a helmet set up. And if you do want information as to what helmets I recommend, look back in my videos. I have a previous video on the Cut ACH, which is one of my favorite ballistic helmets. And it is a relatively cheap accessory to get into. A plate carrier can get very expensive very quickly, and same with the helmet setup, but I would say a helmet setup would actually be maybe cheaper than most properly set up plate carriers. If you have any questions, sound off down below. I'd be happy to answer any. Thank you very much for watching this. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.